One thing that we notice in the DR is that women automatically think you a simp. They think that you will do any and everything. You know, if you fling the slightest bit of attention your way, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this man is willing to do. So go get my drink. Go give me some lemonade. Go do this. Go." I'm like, nah.
I was like, huh? You go give me a drink. How about that,
They got me so messed up.
bro?
Yeah. So, but and that all comes with the whole confidence in yourself. Like we could have easily been like, "Oh yeah, we'll go get you drinks," and like run and get them drinks. But it's like they respect you. Honestly, they respect you more if you don't. If you're able to set those boundaries and let them know that, yeah, I'm not just any kind of dude.
And at the end of the day, women are looking for
Point.
to respect someone. Like that's the most important thing for them. Like they want to respect someone, and a lot of people go too far in terms of trying to garner their respect. But I would say just having respect for yourself is the best way to have other people respect you.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, feeling young, but they treat me like the OG.
And what is up, everybody? It's your boy Uncle Carlton back again with another episode of the Two Black Kings podcast. Xavier, what's good with you, bro?
What's good, people? We are finally back, season 5. You know how we do it.
Season 5, bro.
Um,
Season 5.
yeah, we finally came back after to the DR about a week ago. That shit was crazy.
We're gonna give y'all a little
Um,
review of the trip. Type shit.
yeah, we definitely gonna get into the review of the trip, but of course, just like always, you want to start with our king of the week. So the topic that we really want to discuss is doubling down here in the DR. So what does doubling down look like? Mainly, betting on yourself at the end of the day, making sure that you're your number one priority. And when all the noise starts to come to you, you're able to filter out the noise and have a consistent, solid group around you to remind you who you are. And
Word, word,
so,
word,
with
word.
that in mind, we want to start with our kings of the week is Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. So, if you hadn't heard or been to a rock, Jalen Hurts received a $255 million extension, 179 million guaranteed. At that point, he was the highest paid NFL player of all time, known for his all women management group. So he has
Oh,
one
I didn't know
girl.
his manager group was all women.
Yeah,
That's
it's 5
interesting.
women, and they like are led by this girl named Nicole Lynn, black woman, and to basically to maneuver or strike up a $255 million deal is unheard of.
Man,
But then, probably like 2 weeks after, Lamar Jackson inks his deal for 260 million,
bro.
185 guaranteed. And so I specifically wanted to bring these two gentlemen up. One because they just have black women as their agent. His mother, so Lamar Jackson's mother is his agent. But the two deals weren't easy. I think especially specifically with Lamar Jackson, he was dealing with a lot of politics. So he's MVP at the age of 22.
Right, right,
And
right,
so
right.
you would think after a long season, any other white quarterback, they're gonna get, they're gonna get their money off rip. But for some reason, they were dragging their feet on actually getting this deal in place. And a lot of people were getting mad at Lamar Jackson just because they were like, oh, pretty much take what you should get, like what they give you.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think if you abide by that thinking of just taking what people give you at the end of the day, you'll never you'll never realize your true potential.
Right.
He could have easily settled and just been like, whatever. You don't even have to give me the max deal. You don't have to give me the franchise tag. But it took like, his mother, even with Jalen, with Nicole Lynn. It just takes some solid people around you to like remind you who you are, to get you to that place. So
Yeah, I mean, and he doubled down on
big ups,
himself.
big
Like
ups to
TJ,
him.
he just said, yeah, he doubled down on himself. He bet on himself, and I think that's the kind of mindset you have to have as a king at this point. So
Yep. And it's like I would say it's a lot easier said than done. We can obviously say like, oh, double down, but if you're not really believing in the process, Because it took a long time. People were like, bro, hurry up on that deal, Lamar. You
Oh
got your own
God.
identity. I'm like, bro. So
But I
yeah,
mean,
people
like
say,
with the podcast that we're about to do today, like we're gonna show you the process of how you can double down on yourself and get that confidence to say, yes, I'm worth this, worth that.
for
So we'll
sure.
get into that here in a minute. But Xavier, let's get into the book of the week.
Yeah, so the book of the week. So I actually introduced this last season, The Millionaire Next Door. So I just wanted to give an update on it so far. So basically, how the research began is it's an early 2000s study of 1,000 millionaires with a household net worth of 1 million. So that's what would consider you a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
And then so they had to answer 249 questions, and then they also supplemented some of this research with just interviews of self-made millionaires, people that are wealthy right now. What are they
Yeah.
doing? What are their actions? And so I just wanted to look at, so they do like a profile of what a millionaire would look like.
Right.
And so starting off, I think one thing is glaring: 95%. This is 95% of the 1,000 people that took the survey are married. So if you're looking for financial wealth, financial stability, getting married is up there. You think you can
And
do it by
so
yourself?
why do you think that the marriage helps people to become millionaires?
I mean, of course, the first obvious answer is double household income. But it
Okay.
also you bring a different perspective when it comes to making money. I know me and Rashad talked about this on the DR trip about like offense and defense. So I feel like
Okay.
men primarily are playing offense. They are the income generating person in their family, and that's they're playing their role. But as the woman, and they discuss this in the research, is that primarily the main, I would say like more than 2/3 of the families that are millionaires, they have a woman that is very meticulous, that's very budget driven, and she's very strict with her spending. So if you
Mm-hmm.
have a woman on the side of you that is willing to save the money, even though you're making all this, great money, but she's like, hey, babe, I think you need to slow down, save some money. So I think that's super
Word.
important.
And I think
97%. Yeah, go ahead.
word. No. I mean, all I was gonna say was, and I think it could work the opposite way too. Like if a woman is on
Of
offense, the
course.
man could be on defense. That's it.
Yep. And then so the next glaring statistic, 97% are homeowners.
So
So
97% of millionaires are homeowners.
at 97% of the people that they interviewed, yes, of the
Okay.
millionaires that they
Okay.
interviewed
10-4. Okay.
are homeowners. So when it comes to okay, I'm renting right now. Can I see myself being a millionaire renting? It's not, it doesn't look good.
Right. So when they say millionaires, do they mean like with like net assets? Like so with my
Yep,
house
net
be
worth.
worth like okay.
So yeah, the net worth of your whole household, everybody in it,
Yeah, all
would
the
be right
equity
at
and all that type of
yep,
stuff. Yeah.
would be right at 1 million. Um, I thought it was interesting that 80% are first generation millionaires. So like, you know, sometimes we feel, oh, they're just trust fund babies or they were given most of their wealth. Well, it's evidence right here that 80% of the people that are becoming millionaires are first generation. So,
Mm-hmm.
we are that, trailblazer in our family that becomes the millionaires, that puts the rest of us on. We would like our family to be in that 20%. You feel what I'm saying? So, and then okay, so there's two more that I want to point out that was really important. So the one is the most valuable occupation for your children. They
Oh
primarily
shit.
said that they want the people that find longevity and financial stability are the ones that can offer a service to the rich class. So that's primarily who they saw was in accounting, me, and then
Okay.
law, which I know Rashad is slowly trying to get into law. Um, so
I mean
like
that's
those are
a
just two things.
foolproof that's a foolproof
It's
way to make some
foolproof
money.
because you're consistently gonna have people that are doing their taxes, people that need bookkeeping, people that need like law
And people
advice, like
always gonna be at court, bro. Always.
always.
And if you a
And
doctor,
I
that's
think,
even better too.
bro, it see with the doctor, it's gonna take a little bit longer just because of student
Mm.
loans and stuff. But like once you come out, oh my, you're gonna be set.
So,
Um, and then so the last glaring statistic. and I want you to know what you think about this, Rashad, is that 2/3, so 66% of the people work between 45 and 55 hours.
And you know what, bro? I agree, because there are a lot of people who are like, team no sleep, I'm grinding 24/7, this, that, and the third,
Yeah.
and that's cool or whatever. But to maintain this type of work ethic in the long term is impossible. Like, at least for me, I can't do 80 hours a week consistently. I just can't do it.
Right.
But if you were to give me 45 hours at actual work plus another 10, maybe 15 hours of side hustle work, I could consistently do that on a week to week basis.
Yeah.
So I understand the statistic, because really it's not about how many hours you put in. I mean, it is, but you don't have to put in those hours in a short amount of time. I feel like with millionaires, since they work consistently, that 45 to 55 hours is spread over 20, 30 years versus just working 80 hours a week for 5 years. You know what I mean? And so I have gone into the business of working for the rest of my life. Yes, I want to retire, but I always want to be some type of consultant or some type of person that is providing value to other people. So I've signed up to work for life. And so why would I put in 80 hours now when I could just put in 45 hours for the rest of my life, is how I'm thinking.
Yep. And I also think it's important to note that a lot of the millionaires are not like, oh, I got to take on a second job. I know me and Rashad talk a lot about being the most efficient with your time. Sometimes we can think like, oh, let me become a bartender, or let me get my my real estate license. Like, you have to see, and I'm not bashing those at all, but you have to see if those really fit within the life that you're trying to live. If it's just something to get money on the side, I don't necessarily, advocate for it. But if it's like, all right, I'm always a hoster, I love having people over my house, let me get into the bartending business because I already have people over my house. Okay, now that I got people over my house, I also have my real estate license. So let me start, having like real estate, open houses, stuff like that, to where it's like, it all makes sense. We talked a lot in the last season about synergistic skills. And so when you're able to have these different skills and they all mesh up, it makes sense. It makes sense.
You want
it to make sense. You don't want to be working 80 hours a week, working 2 and 3 jobs just to say that, oh, you get money. But it's just like, what are you doing?
And those 2 and 3 jobs are not even related. Like,
exactly. Far from related.
Yeah. You want, like you already said, bro, you want it to be synergistic.
Yeah. So we got.
So you want me to move into the financial art? Yeah. So this is a segment that I'm gonna go ahead and throw into the podcast, and I'm not gonna get too deep in the weeds. But I work for the bank, obviously. I'm not gonna say which bank it is, but I work for the bank. I'm in this industry. We do financial market updates pretty much every single week, and bigger ones every single month. And so I have a kind of insight into the market of what's happening in terms of inflation, in terms of the debt ceiling, in terms of all these different variables that economists and the Fed they're fumbling with. And so I wanted to go ahead and throw a little snippet of what's going on, just because I know our listeners are very educated. They obviously want to get ahead. They want to quote unquote beat the markets. And so there's not really like a surefire way to beat the market, but just knowing what's happening is going to be half the battle. And so this week, it was last week, so the beginning of May-ish, the Fed increased interest rates by 25 basis points. So it was at 5%. Now it's at 5.25. And what that means is for the Fed sets its interest rates, and the banks all across the country have to use those interest rates and then put what's called a spread on it, so the banks can then make money off those interest rates. So I won't get too much into the weeds of what the Fed is doing when they're doing their interest rates, but basically it has something to do with returns. Let's just put it that way. So the Fed increased its rate. What does that do for the economy? Well, when the Fed makes things more expensive to borrow, which is what's happening when it increases rates, it effectively is decreasing inflation. And so how does that work? Well, inflation happened a lot during COVID because there was a lot of pent up demand for goods but supply chain wasn't necessarily up to par because people weren't working. And so all this pent up demand and limited supply increased prices. And that's what we call inflation. So in order to curb inflation, the bank has made it more expensive to borrow money. And so if you make it more expensive to borrow money, that means that people, consumers, have less discretionary income. And if that's the case, they have less money to spend on goods, and therefore prices can come down and correct itself. And so what's happening is we've seen a rate hike as fast as anybody's ever seen it in history from 2020 to now 2023. And so it's increased 5%. And what's happened is it's kind of broken things. And so some regional banks weren't able to handle the increase in rates so drastically that they failed, i.e. Silicon Valley Bank, Signature, I forgot what the other one was called, but those banks failed and basically they couldn't meet their debt obligations. And so, Credit Suisse for sure. So what the Fed is attempting to do is they're attempting to decrease prices, decrease inflation, so our economy can be healthy again, because it's about 6%. And so that looks like, okay, it's going to be more expensive to borrow. And so what's happening is people are forecasting that interest rates will go down by the end of the year. And that could happen. But what I think probably will happen is the Fed will either pause or continue to increase rates. Because if they decrease rates, that would be not encouraging for our economy, because it'd be like, okay, our economy is not strong. We need to decrease rates so people can start to buy stuff. But we still see a lot of demand across the country.
Right.
So I think the Fed will just pause, wait for things to correct, and then see what happens to inflation. And if they see inflation consistently going down, then they'll probably make adjustments from there.
So, okay, my question to you would be, how does that affect the average American? So, like, with the Feds hiking the rates and inflation going crazy, as the average American, should I be out, getting more credit cards? Should I be spending more on my credit card? What exactly should I be doing with that right now?
So for the average American, you're not going to know probably what this means, but the rate of return is inverted. So we're about to head into a recession. And so what you need to do heading into a recession is hold on to your cash. So then you could either just have cash stockpiled up for anything that could happen, or you're able to invest in securities at a discount when it's in a recessionary period, and therefore make a lot of money. A lot of people did that in 2008. They invested in some stocks and some other securities and some real estate, and were rewarded greatly when the market recovered. But we are about to head into a recession, so I'd recommend stockpiling cash and investing in securities while they're at a discount. For the average American, like I said, when interest rates are increased, you'll have less money, like less just discretionary income, because you'll be paying most of that back in loans, especially if you have anything floating rate. And so you'll have less money to spend on regular goods as interest rates go up. That's the net of what happens to the average consumer. You'll just have less money to spend on discretionary purchases.
And I would say, like, another layer of, the recession or what's going on, and maybe Rashad can give us more insight on this, is that a lot of people are getting laid off of their jobs.
Man,
this is a scary time for a lot of Americans. And we want to let y'all know, like, the people listening, is that, you're not alone. Like, me and Rashad are dealing with the same things. Like, there's different teams being restructured. Even with my company, they're going through 3,000 layoffs. So it's like everybody is in a state of limbo.
Man.
And so how is laying people off? Because I know me and Rashad argue a lot about this, but how is laying people off helping the economy?
Okay, so this is going to be kind of complicated to explain, but I'm going to explain it in simple terms. So if you take the total economy, it's pretty much based on how much money people spend in a certain economy, and that's what's called GDP. And so you have the total amount of money spent. And so when inflation is high, that means people have a lot of money to spend, and they're trying to decrease the amount of money that people have to spend. And so one way to do that is to increase unemployment, because if people are unemployed, then they don't have enough money to spend. And you decrease the amount of money that you have to spend in totality to decrease inflation. So the goal for the American, well, not the American government, because it's different from that. The goal of the federal government, like the bank, is to decrease inflation ahead of everything else. Like they want to decrease inflation. So by decreasing inflation, they actually make the US dollar stronger. And so to do this, they decrease the amount of money that people can spend. And one way to do that is to unemploy people. So they raise the interest rates, make it super tight for companies to meet their margins, and companies lay a whole bunch of people off. It's all really like a game, like a system. And it's hard to explain, but I hope I'm explaining it in a way that makes sense.
Equation,
yeah, literally. So I wouldn't say unemployment is a bad thing,
so
but
I mean,
it's just something that they use.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, if you right now, I would hold all my stocks. Try to clear any short-term borrowings that you may have, and keep as much cash as possible. Just prepare for like the upcoming, recession, because it's about to get dirty out here, even with the student loans resuming pretty soon. So it's going to be very interesting how they handle the economy going forward. Recap.
Yeah. So you want me to recap what happened in DR, bro?
Yeah. We can go back and forth, but that shit crazy.
That shit was crazy. Hold on. Let me give you the horn real fast. Well, okay, so I got the vlog coming out probably by the end of the week. I'm kind of halfway through editing it. But you're gonna see exactly what's gonna happen in the vlog, and I'll link it probably under this video so you can go check it out. But we got to the DR on a Thursday. It was the 4th of May that we had Cinco de Mayo and all this other stuff. And let me just tell you, bro, the DR was a crazy trip, bro. Like, it was a crazy trip. And let me tell you why. Because part of Xavier, Darian, and me shot 100% from the field, bro. 100% from the field. Like, I had
100%.
I shot 100% from the field, but it just is what it is. But I think it's a combination of what we're about to talk about in terms of the choosing signals and just being in an environment that was conducive to people like us. Like, we found our lane, we found our niche, we know what girls like us. And so we're able to approach it to where we almost don't have to get rejected. And so I'm gonna let you go ahead and piggyback off that, Xavier.
Yeah, when I tell you, so just for people that don't know, every year I've been pretty much planning on doing just like a trip for my birthday. Rashad's birthday is in March, so it like people are still working. We could probably do it like around my birthday when it's in May. It's sunny pretty much everywhere in the world, and we kind of wanted to just find a spot. So last year we did Jamaica, which Jamaica was a movie in itself, just like crazy, but. I felt like specifically with the DR, and this is one of the biggest like overarching things I learned from the trip is it's so important like who you travel with, because I feel like with going with people that are on the same thing that I'm on. Like when I want to be up and at it and going, they're with that too. But at the same time, they know when I'm trying to sleep or when I'm trying to just relax, like they're gonna let me do my own thing. Like, and it's also important to go with people that have like experienced life before. Because I feel like if I would have been on the trip with some people that haven't really done much, they're like, all right, this is my one chance to do everything that we got in the DR. Where I'm like, bro, we're gonna be doing something next year, so like, we can do some dune buggies, we can do some zip lining, like it really doesn't matter to me, like just as long as I'm like, getting off the resort and we're having fun.
Right.
And then also, on top of traveling with a good group, another thing I learned is just like, be open to meeting everybody from every walks of life. Like we met, when I tell you, like talking to old people, young people,
Bro,
families, friends, like locals, and like yeah, it was a very well done
it
trip. And
was a
I
very
had
well
a
done
time.
trip, bro. Yeah, bro. So
Yeah,
to get into it, like I'm just gonna give you a quick summary of what happened. So we got there on Thursday, and we got dressed. We went to the beach or whatever, chilled, and I think we just went out to dinner and then went to a little show afterwards and was dancing afterwards or whatever. I'm not gonna give you no more specifics because a lot of other stuff happened. But Thursday night was kind of more chill. We met a couple folks. It was just kind of so Thursday happened, Friday came through. But look, this is when we turned up. So it's obviously Cinco de Mayo, whatever. And so we go to breakfast, and then after breakfast, I think we go to the beach. I think we got drunk on Thursday because I went on a run on Friday, right? Was that Friday? On the beach? I think I went on a run on Friday.
We got drunk every day, bro. Every single day.
Yeah, that's true. So I went on a run on the beach, and after that, bro, we went to this pool party. And when I tell you we turned that pool party up, bro, we brought our own speaker and we just turned that junk up. They were feeding us these shots, and it was called, the shots are called Pink Pussy or whatever. But they was feeding us these shots, and I had to like run away because I was like, y'all are doing too much. I'm about to die. But we was flags surfing in that junk, no cap. But it was a smooth experience. Yeah. And then that night, I think there was a neon pool party soon back to that junk. That jump was turned. I don't really have any footage of that because I was like locked in. I wasn't on my phone. But after that, then Saturday, we kind of do the same thing. We just chill. And so most of the trip is just us going to pool parties, us going on an excursion. We obviously went zipline and stuff. And we went to the pool parties. And then there was an all-white party and some other stuff going on. But there was some drama on the trip. But overall, like, I just loved how we met so many different people from so many walks of life, as Xavier said. I met probably 20 people from Toronto. Yeah. And I thought that was crazy because I'm like, bro, why is everybody in Toronto? Because they might have been Persian, they might have been Indian, they might have been just black. I'm like, bro, why is everybody in Toronto? So I don't know. But I think the DR was a great trip. People I went with were amazing. I think everybody needs to find a travel group, and I can't wait to go on another trip.
Yeah, for sure. We can one contention of the drama on the trip goes into Rashad's and my tripping.
Yeah.
And I hope we play the video. So, bro, go ahead. I'm gonna let you explain it, bro. I'm gonna let you explain it.
So I'm over here talking to you. I'm talking to Darian, bro. I'm talking to Xavier. I'm like, I think we need to find our niche. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't think my niche is white girls. And I based that off anecdotal evidence. Like, I talked to a couple white girls. I don't know if like I really fit with them. And like, I was like, probably 30% of the white girls I talked to, I get ghosted by. And them niggas laughed at me. They was like, what, bruh? You get ghosted by 30% of white girls and you talk about that's not your niche? Nigga, you get 70% of them. And I was like, damn.
Bro.
I was thinking about that. But I was like, fuck no. Because I don't get ghosted by black girls. That was my argument. I was like, I don't get ghosted by black girls. And so they were like, you ain't talking to not one black girl.
This man Rashad is it. Bro, this man Rashad is literally yelling at us in the middle of dinner about how this man just not talking to no more white girls, and he said, and we're gonna talk about this, like, what's your niche, what like type of women you surround yourself with, and he's arguing us down. He was just like, bruh, because the first night this man gets on a white girl, and I'm like,
that is true.
I'm like, bro, you just talked so much mess all throughout dinner, and now the first girl you meet up with is some Persian shit. I said,
bro, she was giving me the eyes. I had to. I am not even gonna lie to you. But we're gonna go into all that.
And he was asking me, oh, where the black chicks? I'm like, The black chicks.
Nigga, we're in the DR.
Bro,
God,
absolutely.
that shit is
So
hilarious. No, I got that from a
we know
blog, by the
Rashad
way.
was tripping.
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
Because
Okay. Yeah.
because like I have zero problem getting white girls, like, to be honest.
It's really all about who likes you. You know,
Pretty
we're
much.
gonna talk about like niche and like, you know, how to set yourself best up for success. But what I learned this weekend, one, it's okay to have a type. Like it is totally fine because Rashad seen me. I saw a chick. What was that? It had to be Thursday night. It was Thursday night because I had the jersey on.
Yeah.
I saw a chick that was like definitely my type. Dark skin,
Talking about gold
big,
pants.
you know, kind of small. Gold pants, yes. And I was like, look, I'm gonna
Mhm.
go down there and get her. And like, that's exactly what happened. She showed me the choosing signal, and I got the number. It's
Oh,
as simple
God.
as that. So like, it's
It's
okay to
simple.
have a type, but like, don't fight it. Don't fight it. That's all I
Don't
can
fight
say.
it, bro.
Is don't fight your type. Don't
So
fight.
let
the
me
girls
let me
that
ask y'all a
attract
question,
you.
because I know this nigga was tripping,
So-
bro. Is it tripping to take a nap at 8 o'clock and just be down for a whole night on vacation, bro? Because I'm not gonna lie, we did go to the pool party.
Okay,
and
that
we
is
did
a-
get drunk. What?
Bro, that's a horrible explanation of like what actually happened. So let me.
Okay,
let
then tell me what
preface
happened. Tell me
this.
what happened.
Let me preface this by saying we have been drinking all day. And not only, I feel like with some of the shots at the resort, they'll give you like some watered down shots, but we were drinking like premium Patron. So I'm like
Bro, we were
throwing
drinking
these joints
Patron.
back. I had the sugar mama that me and Darian were with. So it was her birthday. So she giving us both shots. So I'm feeling myself. And this is when I was telling y'all. This is when I was telling y'all it's important about who you going on a trip with, because at any point in time I have to like regroup, and so I'm taking a nap at 8 o'clock. I'm not even gonna lie. I was done, and
Yeah, he's
Rashad,
taking
this
a
man
nap,
Rashad
bro.
did not sleep damn near the whole trip.
Oh,
He is a
God, I
machine.
didn't sleep the whole
And I was just
trip.
like, bro, I'm not gonna be able to make it. So I will say the party that we missed that night
Was lit.
I will say the stuff that we did, the party that we did miss, it was turned, but I had to get my nap in. Yeah, I had to get my nap in.
You know, I respect
So am
that
I
too.
tripping?
was
Am I
gonna
tripping
make
for
you-
taking naps on vacation?
No, you tripping for taking a nap for the whole night, bro. I was up the whole night, literally, without y'all. I was literally without y'all the whole night, bro.
Oh
But
my
it's okay.
God,
I
yeah,
was
that
just
was
lonely. I was just lonely
yeah, we had a time.
with my nigga Kelly, bro.
And he was still doing his thing, bro. He was still
I
doing
was-
his thing.
You know, whoop, type shit.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get into the topic of the week. The topic of the week is the getting the girls we want versus selling for the ones provided for us. And this has to pertain to women as well. Just change girls to men. And let's just change girls to women. But whatever. So getting the people we want versus selling for the ones provided for us. So Xavier, I really wanted to talk about this topic. I know you had this on your mind too, just because I really feel like I like to think of life as a game. I really feel like I'm upgraded to another level. And on this other level are the women that I want. And I really feel like since March, around my birthday, since like Vegas, I've had the actual confidence to actually go and talk to these women and get these women. And so I want to point out kind of where I saw my life change and try to help you guys, not you guys as in you, Xavier, but the listeners, just because I feel like people go about getting women the wrong way. And I think they try to focus on some type of strategy or some type of game that you can display to all women. And that shit 100% does not work, bro. Because once you start to apply a one size fit all for women, that's when you start to go wrong. So instead of trying to, okay. And so once you start to apply a one size fit all to all women, that's when you start to mess up because every woman is going to be different. So instead of betting on trying to figure out what you could say to each different woman, why not just work on ourselves so the women that like us for ourselves just come to us? And so that's going to be the basis of this strategy. I don't know. I'm just going to call it Carlos strategy. But the first thing that I want people to do is to go and look inside the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror. Study and analyze yourself. And if you're not happy with the way that you look, then work until you're happy with the way that you look. For instance, my smile was not the greatest back in college and in high school because my two teeth right here, I don't know, you can see it. They're like I don't know what they're called, but they're right next to my front two teeth. They were smaller than the rest of my teeth. And so what I did was I went and got veneers, which nobody really can tell. I only got veneers right here.
Hell yeah.
And that pretty much fixed that. You know, I wasn't really expecting the beard to come, but I had a lot of acne lining my beard line. And once the beard grew in, you can see that acne and it went away. And so that's step 2. I had acne in my forehead. I got epiduo. I went to the dermatologist. I got all that off. That's step 3. And, you know, obviously the barber and the haircut and your body game, those are going to be step 4 and 5. And so once you go in, you look at yourself in the mirror, you say, okay, I got a nice body. I got a nice haircut. My skin's clear. I got a nice beard, or I got whatever, this, that, and the third. Then you can finally have the confidence to go out and start putting yourself on the market. And if you like how you look, other people are going to like how you look. And so you're going to start to get choosing signals. So I want to stop there just in case you had any questions, Xavier, or like you wanted to chime in.
There are some girls that like don't care about looks. Like off rip, like they don't really care about the whole, you know, getting your eyebrows straightened, getting manicures, pedicures, stuff like that. So like you want to make sure that the things that you are doing to enhance yourself, to enhance like your look, like you're okay with yourself. Like, because like I have never, you can see, I've never had acne. Like even growing up, I didn't really have like zits and stuff. So like that has never been like a thing of mine. So, but I still believed in skincare, like making sure your skin looks great. And you can go from the last episodes where I do my whole skincare routine. But knowing that you're changing these things in order to look appealing and okay in the mirror to yourself. I know that one thing I struggled with back in high school was that, so I did wrestling a lot. So I did a number working out. My arms were getting bigger and I was like, the girl's going to be all over me when my arms get bigger, da, 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 da. But I realized because I was doing something for the approval of something else, I was not satisfied with the result. So like you can have the straight teeth, you can have the clear skin, you can have the beard, but if you're not happy with yourself, like all that shit is thrown out the window.
Right.
So I would say change these things, you know, looking inside yourself like, I really want to get my teeth straight, or I really want to dress a little bit nicer. And like that's what's going to make me feel better. Because girls, one thing and we can talk about this, girls can tell how confident you are just by how you walk.
100%.
And just by how you're feeling yourself.
100%.
Yeah. Go into detail about how you know, walking around and how girls can feed off that masculine energy without you saying a word. What does that look like?
Yeah, so when you start to look at yourself and feel confident, you look at your mirror, you're like, I like this dude, like this dude is him. Not necessarily you have to think that yourself is him, but you have to have some type of confident aura about yourself. And you start to learn the knowledge, I like to call it. It's not necessarily red pill knowledge, it's just knowledge about life. Once you start to know that, you start to, instead of talking first, you start to listen first. And from that basis, it's a whole ball game of things that opened up, because instead of just like being the first to do something or being like pressed to do stuff, you're more apt to try to learn what's going on before you do it. And so what that looks like is me and Xavier and Darian, we're all in a 3-man team walking around the resort. Instead of looking at the girls and going, oh, she's bad, I have to get at her right now, we like to walk around the whole resort, do our thing, chill. and like observe, get all the information first. And then if we want to make a play, we make the best play for us. And so
Right.
walking around the resort, being confident,
Man.
not really giving a fuck about what people think, and wearing bust downs, people are going to notice us. People are going to notice us 100%. And they're going to start to, if they're choosing, they're going to start to throw out choosing signals. And the reason why this is important is because we were at the resort. Pretty much everyone was choosing. They were trying to choose somebody.
Mhm.
And so that's why
Yeah.
it was so important to not be in a rush and just kind of do your own thing, because when you do that, you have more success and you get in less drama. And so, what is a choosing signal, Carlton? What is a choosing signal, Rashad? Like,
I was about
I
to
don't get
ask, what is a
choosing
choosing
signals.
signal?
Yeah, I don't get choosing signals, blah, blah, blah. I would say that if you are a good looking dude or you dress nice, or you have money, you're going to get choosing signals no matter what. Whether you see those choosing signals is up to you. And so,
Right.
what is a choosing signal? It's basically a signal
Man.
that a woman gives you that says either come up and talk to me or I like you. So if you catch a girl looking at you or you make eye contact with the girl, she looks away immediately, just relax. But if she holds the eye contact for about half a second to a second and then looks away, that's a for sure choosing signal. She's saying in her head, this nigga is fine as hell. I mean, because if you think about it, when you're looking at a girl and your attention stops on her, you're not saying, dang, this girl's ugly. You're saying, man, she's low-key bad most of the time. And if you're making eye contact
Man.
with her, you're definitely saying, man, she's low-key bad. And so the same thing is happening on the other side. And so these choosing signals, they accumulate until you go and talk to her. So if you make eye contact with her but don't go talk to her, one thing she might do is place herself in your area. And this is one thing that we found happening to us a lot in the DR, Xavier, where we just be sitting on the side of the pool and all the girls are kind of like glide over to our side of the pool or glide over to our side. And so what that is okay, we see these fine niggas over here. Let's go put ourselves in the area so they can potentially talk to us. That's what that means. And so these choosing signals
Right.
accumulate as well. Because I was talking to some other chicks, some Persian girls, shout out to them. But they were saying, look, we make eye contact with a guy, but then we try to avoid him because he's low-key intimidating. And I was like, okay. And one of the chicks was like, that's exactly what I did to you. We made eye contact and like, I low-key tried to avoid you because I didn't even know what to say. And so when you came up and talked to me, I was like, damn. And so don't take it too far, because I'm not going to say if a girl's avoiding you, she's sending you a choosing signal, but sometimes that can be the case. And so these things accumulate when
Because they will read that
Yeah.
like that.
yeah, exactly. So these things accumulate when you're a handsome, confident man, and you don't have to be handsome to like society standards. I'm just talking about to yourself, because you're gonna ooze that vibe, that energy of, oh, I'm confident, oh, I know what I want, I have my life together. And women are gonna be way attracted to that. They're gonna be more attracted to that than your actual looks are, whether you're confident. Because I think every girl said at this point, but they're like quote unquote empaths. I don't know if you ever heard that, Xavier, but these girls be like, oh, I'm an empath. So she likes to take in people's
Yeah.
energy. And what that
Yep.
means is if she's a feminine woman, she's going to want to take in that masculine energy, that confident energy, especially if she's a little bit insecure. And so if she's taking in your masculine, confident energy, she's going to feel very comfortable around you. And if she's feeling comfortable around you, that's really all you need.
Yeah.
I just said a lot right now. I don't know if you heard all
I-
that.
and
but
I
just
think,
said a lot right there.
To your point about the whole choosing signals, like, you have to also have to take into account your role in like your different friend groups. So like, I know that when I'm getting on girls, I love doing like the whole friend of a friend. So like, Rashad is usually like point guard. He be running point. He'll initiate the initial conversation, or we'll go over to a group of girls. And sometimes you just gotta be the wingman. And like one thing I appreciate about a relationship so much is that we can flip flop. Like there are some points where I'm running point with the girls that I'm trying to get down on, and I just need Rashad to be, the Scottie Pippen and my MJ. And so
Oh God.
I would say the way that I have noticed that I get girls. it's more of a I'm more of a like a laid back type of dude. Like I like to survey the area. I like to look, to go back to that whole like eye contact, I think it's so important to keep the eye contact because that shows you it sometimes shows the woman how confident you are. Because you're like, oh my god, he
100%.
was looking at me. She's gonna start telling her friends that, oh yeah, they're over there looking at me. And that's just where it starts. And so another thing is just being confident in yourself, even though you're not running point, because you're eventually gonna have your time. Like, there's never been a time where I
Right.
feel like I was just completely shut out from the whole conversation and I couldn't say anything. But you're gonna have your time to like speak, and when you speak, bro, speak with confidence. Speak up. Like, don't be, oh
Big
yeah,
up.
I'm his friend. Like be confident. Be know that you are there. Know that you're like supposed to be there. Is like, and I feel like that's super important. But yeah, so your second step, Rashad, to
Yeah, bro. So I thought that was extremely important. The different positions niggas play in their group. Like, I love it when you're running point and I'm just in the background,
Yeah.
like just like doing my thing. But to get back to my second point, so we got to the cheating signals. We got to the you need to work on yourself in the mirror until you're confident in who you are. So the next thing is to focus on your career. And yes, this is the typical advice they're giving women, which I think is interesting and good advice. But for men, I think it hasn't been pushed to us enough, especially the average guy. We've been more pushed to just be nice. But you need to focus on your career, and you really shouldn't be dating women until you have a stable career. Like, you really shouldn't be. Because number one, women value security.
Yeah.
Like, let's just keep it funky. Like, they value security more than they value looks, more they value anything else. That security is going to be the action that I'm talking about.
Right.
But if you're not secure in terms of emotional and financial, then you have no chance at a successful relationship. Like, you just have no chance. And so what does that look like? Well, it looks like pursuing your career until you have a great income, pursuing side hustles, formulating businesses with business partners, increasing your network. Like, it looks like that. You have to do all of that stuff simultaneously before you start to date. Because if you're dating without any, what's going to happen is when you look good in the mirror to yourself and you're making, let's just say, $80,000 a year, you're going to start to have leverage and options. You're going to be like, look, I'm a top 20%, top 10% man in terms of looks and the money that I'm making. So whatever BS this woman is giving you, you don't have to accept, because you could just move on to another woman. Because one, there are more women than men in the world. And two, you're more rare because you put in the work on yourself and you became valuable to the marketplace. So because you have leverage and options, you'll be able to make the best decision for yourself, which ultimately you need to do. A lot of guys, they have zero options. So they're just making the decisions based on the one option they have. And that could be okay. But a lot of times it turns into toxic relationships and you get into scarcity. And because you're not getting a steady set of pussy, you're just going to stay in that toxic relationship, and this, that, and the third will happen. So you shouldn't be dating women. You shouldn't be like going to resorts. You shouldn't be doing anything until you get a stable source of income and you have a good career and you're progressing in your career. Now, a woman, once you get to that point, a woman will help you progress faster if you choose the right one. But this is why you need leverage and options first, because then you could choose the right one that's going to help you in the long run. Does that make sense?
Facts.
So that's kind of the second point. Did you have anything to add to that one, Xavier?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's so important, and we mentioned this last season, just about like knowing what value you bring, and I think that's one of the biggest parts of like confidence is that when you know you don't bring value, you are less confident in what you say. You're not really sure about how people view you. But when you're 100% confident in what you say, people know what sort of is that a man that can provide value. And that's outside of them. If you're providing a value to the greater good, the community, she's gonna see that and it's like, wow, my man is actually providing value, hopefully she's also providing value, because it can get to a point where, like, kind of like us, where we're high functioning individuals and we're always providing value. We have to see or find a woman that is matching our, our
Right.
in our relationships. And so I think it's very apparent because, bro, one thing that we notice in the DR is that women automatically think you a simp. They think that you will do any and everything.
Yes.
If you fling the slightest bit of attention your way, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this man is willing to do. So go get my drink. Go give me some lemonade. Go do this. Go."
Like
I'm like,
they had us fucked
nah.
up. I was like, huh? You go give me a drink. How about that?
They got me so messed up.
Bro.
Yeah. So, but that all comes with the whole confidence in yourself. Like, we could have easily been like, "Oh yeah, we'll go get you drinks," and like run and get them drinks. But it's like they respect you. Honestly, they respect you more if you don't. If you're able to set those boundaries and let them know that, yeah, I'm not just any kind of dude. At the end of the day.
And at the end of the day,
I really
women are
like that
looking
point.
to respect someone. Like, that's the most important thing for them. Like, they want to respect someone, and a lot of people go too far in terms of trying to garner their respect. But I would say just having respect for yourself is the best way to have other people respect you. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the third point.
Yeah.
This goes hand in hand
Thanks.
with the point above, but what I'm gonna say is, when you're progressing towards your career, and this is step C, when you're progressing towards your career, you have to have an end goal in mind, yes, to have direction. Whether that be, I want to be a CEO of a company, I want to own my own business, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, this, that, and the third. You have to have an end goal in mind, but you should really be more focused on the day-to-day process more than you should be on the end goal. Because when you focus on the day-to-day process, you can focus on the person that you need to do to become that CEO. And once you focus on that person that is becoming, then that's when you start to fall in love with yourself, garner more respect for yourself, say, I put in this amount of work, that amount of work. And that vibe, that energy is going to rub off on all your relationships. So you're going to notice that your friends are going to start to try to do the same things. Your family is going to try to start to do the same things. Your man/woman is going to start to do the same things. So if you're on your shit, then other people are going to be on your shit as well. Like, for instance, I know that me and Xavier always be getting on Dion about going to the gym. And so he's finally got a gym membership and he's taking it serious. And now he's actually losing a lot of weight and like becoming more how he was back in college when he played football. And that just came from us constantly bashing him about not having a gym membership. And so once you start to progress your career, you develop the network of like individuals and you focusing on becoming the person, the end goal doesn't even really matter anymore because you're so in love with becoming a better person on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, I'm gonna get into the reaction video. Hold on.
Okay. Okay, so before we get into the reaction video, basically just getting some background behind it. So LeBron has a show called The Shop, and so he just brings different, successful individuals on there. And so the topic that we're talking about now is like pretty much doing the internal work. But I love, we give you some very applicable knowledge, but letting you know that from a lens of very highly, like I would consider us highly successful 26 plus year olds, there could be some instances where you don't feel like him. You don't feel like, you're confident in your walk, like pretty much questioning who you are. And so Damson is talking about his feelings towards, doing a hit show Snowfall, Rashad saying Snowfall and shit. But also his feelings like after that and like where it's taking him. So yeah.
Okay, let's get it.
Right, so that trauma always stays with you, and they say it doesn't matter how big you get, you're always trying to prove yourself, you're always trying to train, you're always trying to get better. I find now I kind of need to audition to not only prove to everyone that I could do the job, but prove to myself that I could do the job. But as you get bigger, I'm in this place now where people are like, yo, come do this.
Automatic.
So the nerves are there. I'm walking on. People are like, yo, Damson Idris is in this. I walk on set first day. I'm like,
So I'm
petrified.
I'm blown away to hear this.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy right there. Actually, that he said that,
bro. And it's the fact that this man is he's gonna win all the awards. Like Snowfall is just a good ass show, but you still feel that internal battle of stuff like, damn, I'm not even enough. Like, so even when like I'm with Rashad and Darian, it's like, damn, am I doing enough? Like, when all the time, like you definitely got to keep a face on. You got to keep the mask on of like pure confidence that you know what the fourth and fifth graders I used to teach. I always tell them that confidence portrays competence. So sometimes you don't always know exactly the right answer, but if you say that bitch confidently enough, they're gonna be like, wow, he knows exactly what he's talking about. It's always important, this goes back to the whole doubling down in the DR. It's like surrounding yourself with dudes that's gonna remind you, bro, Xavier, you that dude. Like I was chilling with my fraternity brother yesterday, and he was just reminding you, he was like, yeah, bro, you been that nigga, bro. Ever since college, you've been, doing this. You got these awards, got these accolades. You've been treating people, with respect ever since like I met you, and it's like that kind of aura, that kind of confidence is infectious. So even I love when Rashad brought up the point about like once you get set in your ways and people see the kind of value that you bring, it kind of gets contagious. Like I never forget, and my aunt actually has a video of me saying this. It was 2020, and they were like, the whole New Year's resolution, what exactly I wanted to get up. And I said my number one word for 2021 was growth. Like I wanted to grow my bank account, I wanted to grow my hair, I wanted to grow my muscles. Like it was a lot of things that I just consistently just wanted to grow. And like they seen me actually grow my hair. They seen like the gains are on a different level. So it's just like once they saw that, they like, damn, he really said it and then went out and did it. When I tell you, one, my aunt has lost like maybe 100 plus pounds. My mom is down 80 plus pounds. Like it gets to a point where everybody around you like, damn, if he can do it, if he's on his shit, that's what I need to be doing. And that's why it's so important to like have people on iron sharpening iron. Like I can't even tell you like what me and Rashad's relationship would look like if I never wanted to travel. I never wanted to, talk to girls and stuff like that. You just never know. So that's why it's so important to like grow with the individuals around you, and do that.
Word, bro. And so it's funny, like that Damson said that because Issa Rae said the same thing, right? Like in Vegas. And I feel that because nigga, like, I don't know, man. Like folks walk out, like when we walked out in the DR, folks are telling me, oh my God, you're so attractive. I love you guys. Or you have such great personality. You have such blah, blah, blah. Like, I never feel like that person, bro. Like, I don't feel like that person just because like back in the day, like we just wore our collar shirts and our khakis with our wallabies, and we went to lunch and got checked every single day. It didn't even matter who you were, bro. You were just another person to get checked, bro. So, so like I always just see myself as just a regular dude. Like I remember like winning state in high school, right? And the next day, these niggas come up and just checking the mess out of me. You a state champion in a glass, and I just be like, damn. I can't even win state without these niggas checking me. So I guess I'm just gonna get checked for the rest of my life. And so like that mentality, like it was cool because it made you tough, but it was also very humbling. And bro, it was very humbling. And so whenever like, I see these blue check mark on Instagram, RC, like, I worked with world championship athletes, Olympic athletes, or I'm an All-American SEC champion, number 5 all time in high school, like this, that, and the third. I just be looking like, bro, I'm just a regular dude. But people continuously tell me that I'm not, so I'm not gonna even say it no more. But on the inside, like I know who I am. I'm confident in my abilities and who I am. But like I'm never really walking around feeling like I'm better than everybody. You know what I mean? But a lot of people like to tell me like we can't say we gotta put you in your own category. Like, okay, I get it. But I feel what Damson's saying, like it's constant need to prove yourself, because I definitely feel the same. No cap.
Yeah, facts. So you want
Okay, so
the last one? Bring us home,
last one,
young
last one.
shot.
Yeah, bring us home. So after progressing into the man that you want to be, focusing on the process on the day to day, it's essential that you show this off to the world. And you didn't always have to do this, but we live in a modern age of social media, and I'm really like, how do I put this? I'm really optimizing for you to have the most options. So if you just want your one girl, then you could really just do steps 1 through 3 and you're going to meet one person. But if you want to maximize your amount of options, I know a lot of people love to date in their 20s, love to travel. So if you want to maximize your options, you're going to have to get on social media and kind of show off what kind of content that you're doing. And the reason why it's important for me and Xavier is because we're trying to make money off of this. And so kind of monetizing our lifestyle is super important and it's super entertaining. And what happens with that is that you'll get a lot of comments on your stories or on your posts or just in general walking around of people who are interested in your content, interested in your life. And if people are interested in your life, then you're going to have more options for when it comes to women and just regular friends. And so that's why I think it's super important to learn how to use the TikTok, to learn how to use the YouTube, to learn how to use the Instagram Reels, because if you're able to kind of show off your regular quote unquote life in an interesting way, then people are really all about that. And that's really one of the ways that Two Black Kings is going to be able to expand, because we're going to be doing our vlogs, we're going to be doing our TikToks, we're going to be doing our Instagram shorts, we're going to be doing all that, our gym content, and people are going to become more and more interested in what we're doing. People are going to see us traveling to the Dominican Republic, traveling to Colombia, traveling to Toronto, traveling to London, traveling to Barcelona. They're going to be like, how are they doing it? And then they're going to go on our profile and they're going to see exactly what we do on a day to day, kind of the get ready with me, is the day in the lives, the gym with me, or like the eat with me. They're going to see all this other stuff and be like, okay, this is exactly what they're doing. Let me do it exactly like this. And they're going to get similar or even better results. And so I say all this to say, once you start to become the man that you want to be, you start to progress your career, you progress your personality, and then you show that off, then you're going to have your list of choices of friends that you want to connect with and women that you want to connect with if you're a man, and vice versa if you're a woman.
Yeah, and I was gonna say with that last part, because me and Rashad, we be having a small argument about whether you should have an Instagram, but I think I understand his point of where he's trying to go, because for me, for anybody that's listening, I'm not. It may look like I'm very social media, but after college, I was like, bro, I'm not trying to be on this shit no more. But I will say an important lesson from that is you have to learn how to sell yourself. Like, if you don't know, but go back to the whole value thing. If you don't know the value that you bring, or what people really like about you, it's gonna be hard for you to like try to get girls. So, for example, the third dude that went to us to the DR on a trip, he has no social media. He didn't have a bank until like last year. He didn't have a bank.
Dude,
so like,
give him the buzzer for having no bank.
Bro, this man had no bank. But like, when I tell you, Darian knows how to sell himself, like in a way that I've never seen before. And this has been since
I've never seen it, bro.
He not gonna come out in some. Bro, he not gonna come out in no like Balenciagas. He not gonna have Gucci on. He not gonna be real flat. He ain't even got the necklace on. It's simple, gold chain with a little turtle, and he gonna talk his stuff.
He gonna talk his shit,
and that's why it's so important. One, so there's two things that I gained from just watching Darian, and just from like how to get girls without the whole social media. One is finding your niche. So we talked about finding those girls that like you, to go back to. And so for me specifically, because I'm not that kind of like vlog experience, all that. Like I would see my success with Instagram models go down, because that's just not the life that I live. But that doesn't mean that I can't get the IG models. It's all about how you selling yourself. So with me, I know my girls, or the girls that I like to talk to, are pretty to themselves, quiet. They're very intelligent. So like, there are certain things that I look for that I know that if she don't know who Odysseus is, or she don't know, it's gonna be hard for us to have a
I
conversation
sure did.
because
Talk about
like
Odysseus.
I am one very well read. That's why I brought that shit up. It's like there's certain things that especially me and Rashad, that we've just gained over the years, like the knowledge that we are very intelligent people. So like when we having conversation, we would like to use our intelligence and not be like insulted. Be like, oh, you smart nigga, you using big words. It's just like, it's not even like that. I can't even have a conversation with you. And so like, and sometimes we can get caught up, because I think that's where I got messed up, is that you can have the house, the car, the good skin, all that stuff, but like if you're talking to the wrong girls, you're gonna think that something is wrong with you, or like you have to adjust something. But like when you're surrounding the girls that like you and that send the correct choosing signals to you, you're gonna be like, wow, like everything that I'm like doing is like what I need to be doing.
That's what we need to end on, bro. If you have to question if she likes you, bro, she doesn't like you every time, bro. A girl is going to let you know in literal layman's terms. She's gonna say, look, nigga, I like you, period. She's going to say that every time.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't say it, bro, then
no matter if you have 6 girls on you.
So I'm gonna end it here with this.
Leave
I got
alone,
2
bro.
pro tips.
Leave alone.
I'm gonna get 2 pro tips. So first off, you should always be looking people in the eye when you talk to them. Like, listen to me closely. You want to be holding eye contact at least 80% of the time when you're talking to people, because not only does it develop trust, but it's hard for you to lie when you look someone right in the eyes, and it's hard for them to lie to you. And so if you see them like subtly look away or like be kind of nervous, like, okay, just ease up a little bit. But like, try to hold eye contact 80% of the time. Look away ever so often. Do your thing, but try to have eye contact, because it's going to have a lot of benefits. She's going to feel more comfortable around you as time goes on, this, that, and the third. I noticed that that's one of the biggest things that, like, people like to tell me a lot of things that they've never told anybody before. And I think partially is because I don't judge people, and I hold eye contact to where they can trust me and I can trust them. And so the other pro tip is, we talked about it earlier, but if you don't have good teeth, you should probably invest in your teeth. I talked to multiple women last week about their, like, what is it called? It's not do's and don'ts, but it's like they're non-negotiables. And they're like, a consistent non-negotiable was a guy that didn't have good teeth. And they don't have to be fucking veneers or whatever. Just like, get your Invisalign done and have your teeth brushed, bro. That's what you need to do. That's like baseline. And so that's going to be good for not only women, but business, because, at this point, people hire people who they find attractive. Like, not attractive in the sense that they want to get at you, but like, just, a good looking person, you see one. And so if you're a good looking person, you're going to be more apt to get hired to jobs. And so you want to keep eye contact at 80%, and you want to keep some good, straight, clean teeth. Right. That's pretty much it. So thank you guys for listening to the episode 1 of the Two Black Kings podcast. We're going to have gym apparel coming soon, vlogs coming soon, and guest stars coming soon, like real soon, like damn near next episode soon. So stay tuned for all that. Season 5 is going to be a good one. We're going to have some very prominent, awesome guests, and we're going to get some knowledge out to you guys. So thank you guys for listening. Xavier, you got anything else?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, if you want to link at InvestFest, hit us up in our DMs. We'll be out there doing our thing. So we'll see you guys soon, August 25th.
Peace.